Calvin is a buddy of ours, or I guess of yours, but I think he sells real estate in the Valley, is it?
Yeah, he's with Remax Banner in the Valley.
Right on. He had a question about, or not even a question, he was just remarking how he used that CMHC down payment matching that we had talked about briefly, just sort of passed over. He gave an example of where he used it, and it was great. So we're going to revisit that in a future episode where we talk about residential financing. The interesting thing he asked about, what do you guys think about the PC's idea to increase property taxes and de-transfer taxes on out-of-province owners? He read this on their website prior to election. I haven't heard much since. Have you heard anything about that, Neal?
I haven't heard too much. But yeah, the general idea of the PCs increasing property taxes and de-transfer on out-of-town buyers, I don't like these ideas. In general, all the foreign buyer things, I'm not a huge fan of for a bunch of reasons. Like the number one for me also is like, again, in our most foreign buyer markets, it's like a 3 to 5% ratio that are buying. In Atlantic Canada, it's like 0.5%.
Yeah.
So it's like 1 in every 200 people maybe is a foreign buyer. I don't think it's good though to make it so and like intensely difficult to come in. But you know what? Maybe on the flip side, like you look at it as, you know what, Canada makes a huge effort to be a really strong country for so many different reasons that we are considered to be a bit higher end. And so if you want to come here, you kind of have to pay the price to do so, and we can kind of capitalize on that versus trying to have to capitalize on people that already live here and are part of the current country. But I don't know. I'm just never a big fan of like making these separate targeted fees and taxes for certain people and then not for others, because I feel like it gives you an unequal playing field. But I guess on the flip side, I understand that, you know, they make a huge effort to make this country the way it was. And then for people moving here, yeah, it's a benefit for them. And so if they really want to be here, then we do that. I think these things come more from the idea of like, it's popular opinion for people to be like, got outbid by a foreign buyer on this house. Yeah. And now I ruined it. And so then that becomes common verbiage.
Easy scapegoating.
Easy scapegoating. And they then the government just throws it in there to kind of appease people like, they're also going to deal with the foreign buyers, like they're going to slow them down. Yeah,
it's amazing how things become so commonplace in their narrative that people start to believe them without ever questioning it. I mean, there was someone posted the other day on Facebook, and this is digression, but someone's like, I can't believe, the tax breaks given to the rich and so on. If we just tax them more, we'd have all this money and blah, blah, blah. People are like, yeah, tax them. They don't pay their share, blah, blah. It's like, well, the top 1% of earners in Canada make about 10% of all income.
Yeah.
Right? So they make a disproportionate amount of income. But they also pay about 15% of the total tax. So they are technically paying more than their share. Like they're not paying their share, only in that they're paying more than their share. Mm-hmm. And whether or not they should still be paying more than that is another question. But this idea that high-income earners aren't paying the same rate is again only not true, and that they're paying more than everyone else. So this is another thing, like people are blaming foreign investment for these rising prices, but I don't think that's accurate, especially not here in Nova Scotia. The other issue I had with this is de-transfer, and a lot of property taxes, a municipal revenue stream and municipally set. So the provincial government coming in here and saying, all right, we're going to add this on top of your municipal taxes. I can't imagine the municipalities loving that. I also think there are certain municipalities in the province that are actively trying to encourage outside investment, and this may be counterintuitive to that. But